What's up, everybody? This is Yonah Weiss. I am excited to be here back with another 10-day CRE LinkedIn challenge. I'm so grateful to be doing these live streams every day with some incredible people, and I'm going to bring them up one by one. If you have been around for the previous LinkedIn lives during these 10-day CRE challenges, you are in for a treat because you remember some incredible knowledge and wisdom has been shared through those. And I'm excited to bring back up. We have some awesome guests today, and I'll be doing this every single day, 1:30 p.m. Eastern time. We're a couple minutes late today, but no reason to fret. We'll be back on time tomorrow, I promise. So let's bring them up one by one, introduce themselves, and then we'll bring them all back together. First, in no particular order, we got Dan Friedenberg. Welcome to the show. Let us know how you flow.
Thank you.
Where you go. What you know.
So we're dropping some bars and some beats now. That's a plan? There's a spontaneous sort of thing.
Spontaneous,
okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, because I don't think I have any PG rhymes I can drop right now. It's part of those things. But I do want to remind everybody in the crowd that you should go ahead and chat with us because I've got my phone ready. I'm sitting here doing the thumb thing as everybody's talking. But that's what you should expect. I'm a real estate guy from the internet, right?
That's right. Put your comments in the comments section. Yes, and let us know who you are, we'll know who you are when you write something, but let us know where you're watching from today. And if you do have any questions for myself, Dan, take a few seconds to tell us who you are, what you do, besides for just a real estate investor from the internet.
Excellent. And because I'm from the internet, that basically means that I mostly interact with investors, but I do that through podcasting and doing some interesting little segments like the chess episode of Chess with Investors I did with Yonah Weiss. It was lots and lots of fun. I know I've been keeping up with it, constantly improving. I've been seeing that you've been making some great progress as well, and YouTube is definitely the best place to consume a bunch of that, but if you haven't connected it with me on LinkedIn, then I don't think you actually know me. So make sure that you connect with all of us on LinkedIn.
All right, Dan. We'll bring up the other next guest, and we'll bring you back in a minute. Let's bring up Levi Bloom. Welcome to the show. Tell our listeners who you are, what you do.
Yes, my name is Levi Bloom. They call me in the business world. I'm the founder of a company called My Partner Loan, providing the access to financing for investors, whether you have experience or you don't have experience. We don't discriminate. I've been using LinkedIn for many years, but finally 2 years ago, I learned how to use it properly. I was part of the challenge was 6 to 8 months ago. I don't have the exact date with you. Results are there, but you have to continue after the challenge is over because it's not a magic 10 days that's going to last forever. I think, Yonah, you show us what to do, how to do it properly. And then you have to continue on your own. You can't hold on forever. And I recommend to everybody to do it. I grew my network. I grew my impressions. I grew my comments. I grew my Zoom meetings. And awesome. That's it.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Welcome to the show. Great to have you back. And let's bring up our next guest here. And I don't know if this is just me or my screen. I don't know, Dan, you can let me know also, but it says 0 people are watching this live. I can't believe that. There can't be 0 people watching this live. Come on. Maybe there's something wrong with my connection that it's not showing the live feed. But regardless, if you are watching this, please let us know. So it will help show this to the algorithm, to other people. Naeem, welcome. Introduce yourself, please, and let us know who you are, what you do.
Thank you. My name is Naeem. I live in San Francisco, California. We have had many foggy days this year, which was amazing, spicy skies. And then now it's back to kind of cloudy, sunny, blue skies, which is great. So I've been in real estate for 6 years in property management company, single family duplexes. So if you are a busy professional, if you want to invest in rental properties, you want to purchase yourself and manage yourself, I can help you with that. I have a lot of property management knowledge. I can help you for that. Save you a lot of headache, a lot of traps that are hidden down the line. That's number one. Or if you want to keep your job, passively invest in real estate, I also can help you. I'm partnered with great operators that we can allocate your capital and just watch it grow. I will be happy to connect with you on LinkedIn. Send me the connect request, connect message. Let's talk about it. Happy to help. all the time.
Love it. Love it. Awesome. That's so amazing. Love to hear what everyone does. And that's the main point, right? Connect with each other. If you see someone on this LinkedIn Live and you're watching it, send them a connection request and put a little note there. Take 10 seconds and write something that, hey, I saw you on the LinkedIn Live today. It was great. Let's bring up our next guest today. We got none other than Murray
Beaulieu.
Beaulieu. And it was on the tip of my tongue because
Yeah,
I
you
said it
were
right
close.
when you were on the Weiss Device podcast. I said it right, and
Yeah,
it
that's
left my
okay.
head.
That's all right. I appreciate being here as usual, Yonah. It's a pleasure, and I congratulate everybody else for joining us on this amazing challenge. It's pretty cool.
Thank
so
you.
I'm a little bit worried about myself though, because I've recently been scared half to death twice. No, but seriously, folks, I work with a company called Trebuchet Solutions. We have an unusual niche. We show business owners and investors how to build business credit against their EIN number and not against their social security number. So it keeps the liability contained within the business entity, which is the whole reason we put entities in place to begin with. And yet personal guarantees are, a lot of banks are in the business of personal guarantees. So there's a lot of things you can do with good business credit. You can get higher loan amounts. You can get better terms. It helps you with your insurance premiums. It helps you with the sale of the business because you can transfer the EIN with the sale of the company. And if you have a nice credit profile against your EIN, it's going to make the company much more valuable.
Awesome.
So I'm pretty excited about sharing this, and I'm pretty excited about this challenge. So thank you very much for having us on.
Thank you so much.
Other than working with Dan, that's going to be a challenge, though. That's a real challenge.
Well,
trying to compete with his one-liners. He's on top of his game. So
it's called a challenge for a reason, Murray. So we gotta stay on our toes. Let's bring up our next and last and final guest for today. We got Dan Lukowitz. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Yonah. I appreciate it. Good to be here. Good to see you. Not the first time I've done this with you, so I'm happy to be back. I'm Dan Lukowitz, Senior Director here at Encore Real Estate Investment Services. I'm a net lease investment sales broker, which means that I help buyers and sellers in advisory capacity in the purchase and sale of net lease assets all over the country. So think, single tenant net leased properties like Taco Bell, Wendy's, dollar stores, pharmacies, medical office buildings, et cetera, as well as shopping centers. So if there's anything in that space that you need or you'd like to talk about, I always pride myself on adding value and that everything else follows from there. So please reach out, introduce yourself, say hi. If there's anything I can do to add value or be a resource, it would be my absolute pleasure.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you joining me today on the show, especially such short notice. We gathered everyone on these 10-day LinkedIn Live. And by the way, I'm going to bring up all the guests together here on the stage. But those of you who are watching this live or watching the recording, and you're interested in joining this very short, very informal, kind of adding value conversation, please send me a message. If you're part of this 10-day challenge, we are doing this every single day, 1:30 p.m. Eastern. And I'd love to bring other people as well. As you can see, we're all men here. That was not on purpose. I just invited everyone, and these people responded that Monday worked for them. So if you are a woman, we'll obviously love to have you on the show. And I think tomorrow or the next day, it's all women. So guys and gals alike, you are welcome. And if you're watching this again, put in the notes, put in the comments there where you're calling in from. I'm going to bring this up. I'm blocking Levi if I do that. So let's go back to the other format. All right. So my first question to you, Dan mentioned about how he's always trying to add value, and we're all trying to do that. But I want to ask each and every one of you and try to keep it as brief as possible so we can go through and everyone get a chance to answer, and we can get to another question as well in this short window of time here. How do you like to most add value on LinkedIn specifically? Because there are many ways to do that. And I think we all have our unique way of doing it. I'd love to start with Murray. What's your, maybe not unique way, but how do you like to add value the most on LinkedIn? And I think the reason why I'm asking this, I think everyone can learn from each other in different ways that we may not have thought of and we may not be doing to our capacity. So Murray, let's start with you.
I think the key to LinkedIn is it used to be considered like a job search thing, and it's morphed into now it's really a business to business. And I can say that this LinkedIn is, you want to fish where the fish are, and LinkedIn is where the fish are right now for all of us. So you can catch fish by, adding value. Explain something they didn't know, right? Help them with solve problems, right? You want to you want to share on LinkedIn who you help and how you help them. You don't want to talk about you. You don't want to make your profile a resume. Here's $10,000 of advice in 20 seconds. Make your profile look like a sales page, not like a resume. Who you help and how you help them. Give some good content and lead them back to your profile with some good content saying, I got to learn more about this guy because I like what he said or she said. And then your profile does the sale.
Okay, just playing around here. Want to get our faces a little bigger, but not block anyone out. So just playing with my camera here. But you're absolutely right. Don't just keep it it's great to be a resume. At the same time, you want to build out your profile so that people know who you are, what you do, how you can help them. Dan Friedenberg, how do you like to add value the most on LinkedIn?
Well, you gave me a moment to think about it, and I need a favor from Levi, which is that I'm not wearing glasses. So, Levi, can you take off your glasses so I can have a serious moment? You can do it kind of for me. No?
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead. I'm all ready.
It's a minefield out there, and what I like to do is show people that, hey, there are plenty of problems that can come up in all this. Like it's the United States is not one real estate market, but some markets have had some trouble recently, and a lot of people ask the question, well, how do I get exposure to real estate without really risking that much of my principal, the returns and all that kind of stuff? And so that's what I focus on, is where are people losing money for highly predictable reasons, but full-timers are able to find ways to avoid those. So that's the biggest thing I do. But I should also draw attention to the exclamation points on my name here. It's because I wrote a book on attention to detail a few years back, and that's really what it's all about. It's just paying attention and looking out for those ways that people can get themselves into trouble. So that's what I'm up to.
Love it. Perfect. Levi, since you were kind enough to take off your glasses and add a visual effect there, why don't you share your best advice or the way that you like to add value on LinkedIn?
I use LinkedIn daily, number one, but I like to educate people. I have my expertise. You have your expertise. I don't know everything that you know about your expertise. My expertise is basically financing, debt financing. A lot of people, which I was very surprised, have no idea about different ways of getting finance besides going to a bank. There's creative ways of getting access to financing. So my goal is to educate people, and hopefully I try as much as possible. My profile should be, people should know it's my business card. People know that Levi is the person that will get you financing. So I post a lot about education, about financing, and also how to become an entrepreneur and staying an entrepreneur with all the headaches that comes together. As you can see, my white hair and my loss of hair came from it. So I want to avoid that for my followers.
Absolutely. And you said kind of nonchalantly there that you're posting and you're active every day. And I think that's something that kind of gets overlooked. One of the reasons we do this 10-day challenge is to encourage people to just build that muscle to do it every single day. Once you start, it keeps the momentum going. And I think, obviously you're doing that. A lot of people who want to participate and want to, grow on LinkedIn need to start doing that as well. Naeem, what about you? How do you like to add value on LinkedIn? I know you are a first timer this time around on the challenge, but love to hear what your initial thoughts are.
Yeah, I've been an entrepreneur for 10 years, coming from tech engineering background. So I am actually posting every day some of my experiences that I had. So I'm going to stop people from wasting their time, any headache that they are going to encounter down the road. Mm-hmm. But what I'm really passionate about is connecting with people. If I do not talk to you, if I don't learn from the challenges that you're dealing with, I cannot help you with that. So we are not the mind readers. So I talk to people, I talk to engineers every day. What I learn from them, I post the next day. Like I answer that specific person's challenge without mentioning their name. Now the whole world can benefit from that, right? And what is better than saving people's time and money, everyone, so they can do for me and everyone, positive loop, everyone can help each other. Yeah, happy to help, just connect, and then love to chat.
Perfect. Beautiful. Well said. Dan Lugowitz, how do you like that value? And I know, we started with your comment originally, and it's something that you're doing on a daily basis, but what's one tip or one way that you think you can do it uniquely?
Yeah. So first of all, I mean, what I use, I have a little litmus test for myself when I'm deciding whether I want to post, and it goes for when I want to post, but also for when I want to comment and what I want to comment. And that is that if I were to find value from the post, or I were to find value from the comment, then I'll put it out there. If there wouldn't be value to me or to somebody like me, I'm not going to put it out there. That's been very helpful to me. I want to echo something that Levi said, Murray touched on, and I think in many senses, most of the people here today touched on it, and that is education. So I find that by teaching people about commercial real estate, about brokerage, about net lease, that's how I like to add value. And that's really what people remember. They remember somebody who teaches them. If somebody's coming in and saying, well, what did I learn about LinkedIn? They're going to remember Yonah, because Yonah is somebody who has taught them about LinkedIn. So that's a way to be memorable. And I want to just, kind of reiterate what everyone else has said about posting daily. It's so important. Rarely do you see in the feed anything that's more than a week old. You might see something posted today, 3 days ago, 5 days ago, a week ago. Not very often do you see anything that's more than a week old. And what that tells you is that the people that are posting daily, those are the ones that are up on that soapbox, up in front of the podium every day. They're the ones getting in front of the feed. And if you want to add value to massive numbers of people, there's no way to do it better than being consistent with daily content on LinkedIn.
Absolutely. And I want to just take a moment to, you're absolutely right. I agree with really everything that everyone said. And I think the point we're watching this, we're reiterating these things. It's important to learn things. And you talk about education, right? Education is something you need to hear the same thing over and over and over and over again until it really hits home. So I love the fact we do these. I love the fact we join together and learn from each other. And I do want to just tell everyone, keep the comments coming. I love the comments, that not just from Dan Friedenberg, and but everyone else should be commenting as well, guys. If you're watching this, there is like a 10 to 15 second delay, so we won't see the comments until a little bit after it's relevant, but we'll still bring it up to show, like this. I do, and then I can get to show my beard because it's no longer blocked by the LinkedIn Live shout out box. Second question for our guest today, and we'll keep it short, and then we'll do an outro. But the second question is, there are so many different things or types of posts. Have you seen anything recently or, that works better than others, like whether it's video or polls? I know there are different things that come around through the algorithm, and we're all trying to learn what works the best. Is it just long form, text comment? Is it a picture? Is it video? There's so many different formats. Obviously, I know what Murray's going to say, so we'll just start with him since I knew what he was going to say anyways.
Well, my advice, I went to Barnes & Noble and I asked the lady where the self-help section was, and she said I could tell you, but that would be defeating the purpose. All right, I don't know if you can hear that.
Oh, wow, you got that also.
I got that, yeah. Somebody gave me this for Christmas, and I use it every day. Anyway, personally, I never was a fan of polls. I don't know why they worked, but I do like text posts with a good picture. And here's a tip that I use. Yes, the picture I put on there doesn't always relate to the story. Okay, it's something you want to stop the scroll so somebody will stop and then read it, right? And so I use a lot of dog pictures because I like dogs, and people who like dogs, it's just something we have in common. If you don't like dogs, you're going to keep going, but it makes people stop the scroll because you can lose the content quickly. It's blowing through quick, so you gotta grab those eyeballs.
Absolutely. The dog pictures do stop the scroll, and like you said, in a way, you're attracting people that have kind of like-minded.
Exactly.
Right off the boat. Levi, what about you? I know you've experimented with video recently, and how's that going for you? And I'd love to hear if there's any other type of format that you prefer or you think works the best.
So I did 1 or 2 videos. It's not my personality to be on the video, so I had to break the ice. Went okay, but that was not amazing. People were more curious to see what do I look like, what do I sound like. But I think what works for me is basically short paragraph, short post. When I read a post where there's big paragraphs, you get tired. You cannot, especially if you spend 4 or 5 hours daily on LinkedIn. You have to put like a headline which is interesting. You have to put a couple little white space in between each paragraph, and the paragraph should be very, very short. Mm-hmm. And I put a picture. I use Canva to use a picture, whether it's a picture of myself, whether it's a picture which relates to the post. And I think that's what people like. They want to be straight to the point, concise, straight to the point.
Love it. Okay. Let's try that out. I love that, those points there. Obviously, make sure that it's readable. You want people
Yep.
to be able to read it, and not just keep scrolling. Neem, what about you? Is there a favorite type of format that you use for
Yeah, I think
LinkedIn posts?
I see each post as like a real estate, so it's limited.
Mhm.
So description, picture, you have to be very smart how you choose it. So the higher quality, the better result. If it's a picture, better picture, higher quality, the better. If it's a video, you put more work on it, the better result you are going to get. For the description, same thing. Make sure that there is no typo or error. Don't make it like too much coming from ChatGPT. People can
Mhm.
tell that. So about the emotions behind that description, I think I read that today. Greed works for a few people. If they want to make more profit, here is the interest, 20% annually. May work. But fear is the most powerful emotions. If you warn them against a loss down the road, something that threaten their safety, that's very powerful. I saw that firsthand 2 days ago with my post. It just went viral crazy. Yeah.
Very interesting. I never really considered that. I know, obviously, I know it to be true in terms of news and catching your eyes, but I've never really experimented with it just because I try to keep back. Although, to a certain extent, using fear or that emotion, I could see how using a story to get that across can be very valuable as well. And still keeping it good on the right wavelength. Dan Fredenberg, how about you? What's some type of format you like to use?
Sure. There's a few things. One, I think it has to be non-threatening. So that's to Levi's point there. If you've got this big wall of text, then most people are going to be like, I don't have the time for that sort of thing. But classically, selfies have done very, very well. I think it's got to be really, really relatable. I think one of my bigger posts over the last, I'd say this year, would be on paper straws, and it had a great big hamburger on there, which was kind of out there. But as far as a shout out that I can give, one is Nick Heim. He's a professional engineer who works on parking structures. He had one meme where he just changed the text that was on it, and he got about 200,000 impressions off of that, which that's some serious numbers right there. And I've played around with memes a bit myself, like this one right here, obviously. But you got to try and add value as you try and do those sorts of things. And I can't wait to hear what Dan Lukowitz has to say, because he was a huge help getting me on LinkedIn, getting my sea legs, so to speak, and even introducing me to you, Yonah.
That's right.
Absolutely, that is correct. We did meet through Dan Lukowitz, so grateful to you, Dan, for that. And yeah, let's close it out with Dan. How do you like to use LinkedIn in terms of which types of posts do you prefer?
So I agree. A great photo, high resolution, crisp photo is going to be successful at stopping the scroll. I like to, like I said, educate and teach a lot about commercial real estate. So if I'm writing a post describing, the key benefits of investing in a net lease asset, well, I'm not going to go to Google and just get a generic photo. I'm going to take one of my, 9 megabyte, drone photos of an actual photo of an actual property that I sold, put it on there, maybe tell a little bit of a story. People love stories. So the traditional text educational post with the captivating photo, that's great. I love video. And I think that even if video isn't as effective at getting in front of people, it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, a post with a picture and text and your little profile picture, that's one thing. But if it's you talking, that's relatable. That's giving people a face to put with the name so that they remember you. They're going to remember your facial features more than they're going to remember, the text that you had on your post. So I love video posts. I have an app called InShot. I, once a week will record an educational video and then I'll edit it. It takes me about 45 minutes and I've got a nice video there. Sometimes I go out in the field, I go to an actual development and teach people about what's going on here. That's been very, very well received. And then, something else, not necessarily an actual, strategy, but more of a content type. I started doing this a few years ago. I will, during those summer months, every weekend, I'm at least one car show and I'm always taking pictures. So I have a simple post, a cars and coffee post once a week where I give people 20 different options and I want to hear what cars they like. Is it adding value? Is it educational about commercial real estate? It's definitely not educational about commercial real estate, but I do believe it's adding value because so many people have come up to me that I wouldn't have otherwise met through that car connection. And now, okay, you know what? I was connected to you through real estate. That's one thing, but real estate and cars, that's enough to get on the phone. So that's been huge for me. And I'd highly recommend people branch out into something like that. Oh, you're on mute.
Oh no, I was muted. You find your tribe through that. You find the people who have similar interests to you, and you're going to do business with people that you have similar interests to. It's going to pull you in that direction. I love the point you made there, Dan, about that. I do want to touch on the video part. I just gave a talk this last week with Allison Weiss, no relation, to all about LinkedIn, and she mentioned that she was on a webinar with like LinkedIn, like they put out, what's going on in their thing. And they had mentioned very, very important that obviously video has always been popular, but they are pushing 30-second or less videos. So if you want, because the algorithm, they're trying to compete with, the shorts on other platforms and stuff like that. So if you want to try a video that's going to get more organic reach, try out 30 seconds or less. I'm going to try it this week with a video that I have, and we'll see how it goes. But that's the thing. The algorithm is constantly changing. They're trying to update different things, new features, new things, and it's always good to just keep that in mind. We are out of time, and I usually like to let everyone take a few seconds or so and just say whatever's on your mind, kind of final closing thoughts. So I'll do that. We started 10 minutes late. So I'd love to give you each one of you. And since we ended with Dan, let's start with Dan this time. Close it out. However you like.
Yeah. So again, thanks for having all of us on here. This has been incredible. I love the challenge because it gives an opportunity to meet new people, engage with new content, learn, grow. And it's just it's a net gain. So that's really awesome. Only other thing I want to say is I just can't stress enough. If there's any way that I can add value in or around or even out of the commercial real estate space, please reach out. One of the most rewarding things in my career is when people reach out and we talk about their life and their career path, and then 6 months later or a year later, they tell me about what that trajectory has been and what it looks like. So if there's anything I can do, in the net lease space or outside of it, please reach out, say hello. I would love to connect.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Naeem, how about you close it out? Any final thoughts? And we got a quote. Someone quoted you over here. So love to see that. People listening and being engaged in the post. So
yeah, sure. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everyone. Just want to say that, let's connect. Let's plant the seed. We may not help each other now, but let's get to know each other maybe 5 years from now, 4 years from now, 10 years from now. Who knows? I might get somewhere that I might help you. Hey, I met this guy 10 years ago. We just talked over the Zoom. It was great. I know this guy. So here you go, or vice versa. So
perfect. Love it. Make those connections. They last a long time. Levi, any final closing thoughts?
Yeah, I think LinkedIn works when you give more than you expect back. So when you get up in the morning and if you put 50 comments, 100 comments, do not expect 100 comments to come back. Give it just because you're a nice person. And eventually things come back, what goes around comes around. So be a kind person, be a connector, and eventually you'll see people will reach out to you. It takes a long time. It's not going to happen overnight, but it's out there. It's hard work. It's not fun every day, but stay positive and consistent.
Well, it should be fun every day. You gotta keep it fun. And I just one kind of note on that, adding more value than you're giving. Obviously the jab, right hook thing, the Gary V concept, but really important for LinkedIn. Before you put out your post in the morning or whatever time of day you put yours out, spend a little time commenting on other people's posts first, because once you do that, the way the algorithm works is it will show your post once you post it to all of those people that you just commented on. And so you're going to get more reach by first adding value to others and then putting out there. So Dan Friedenberg, would you like to take yourself off mute and close it out for us? Final thought.
Sure. And the things that I want to do is to help out whoever you are in the camera there. I got a few different ways of doing that. If you got something philanthropic on the go, Who Are You Helping is the podcast that I'd like to have you on as a guest. If you are in commercial real estate, then the chance encounters that are featured on dandoesdeals.com, which I know that Dan Lukowitz, he got real mad at me when I bought that domain, but we're still friends. But anyway, let's definitely join for a podcast on there. And if you play chess and you're an investor, it doesn't have to be in commercial real estate. It could be in real estate, other things. Come on and bug me on LinkedIn. I'll send you the DM link so we can get that booked, and you can come on and Chess with Investors, which is on chesswithinvestors.com. Thanks.
Love it. So many ways to connect with Dan. So many podcasts to connect with Dan. I think I've been on them all, and really a lot of value coming out through there. So last but certainly not least, and thank you all watching who are commenting. Jennifer, love that. Thanks for everyone. Great stuff. Finally, last but not least, Murray, why don't you close it out for us?
I was lucky to be on Dan's podcast, so thanks, Dan. Definitely something you should. Dan knows everybody. So anyway, yeah, I accidentally deleted all my German friends from my cell phone, and now it's completely Hans-free. But seriously, folks, yeah, feel free to reach out to me. I'm a huge LinkedIn fan. Some famous guy once said, "Your network is your net worth," and I use that line all the time because it's true. And I think that it's important to make connections, but you got to do something with them. And yes, you should reach out and offer something to help. And I think Levi had hit the nail on the head. It's the spin of the old Zig Ziglar quote, which I always butcher. But if you help enough people, blah 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 blah, you get what you want or something. Everybody knows that quote except for me. I used to. They call me a peripheral visionary. I can see the future, but it's off to the side. But seriously, folks, thanks a lot for watching. I'm looking forward to this challenge. It's a lot of work, but it'll pay off. You got to be consistent and help everybody out. And I appreciate you. Yonah is the epitome of that. So thank you, Yonah.
Thank you, Murray, and thank you all for watching until the end. This has been a lot of fun. Whether you're watching this live or watching the replay, please use the comments. Let us know if you got value from this. We'll be back here tomorrow, 1:30 p.m. Eastern, with a few other guests, and we're doing this every day this week and next week during the 10-day LinkedIn Challenge. My name is Yonah Weiss, host of the Weiss Advice Podcast, and just grateful to be here together with all of you today and every day, and look forward to seeing you out there on LinkedIn. Keep adding value, and remember, the best advice comes only when you ask.
Thank you.